Anzac Day was a day for me to stay home, but remembering and healing changed it.
It's only once a year. It's on Anzac Day that we have the ceremony after the Anzac parade, so it doesn't interfere with the Anzac parade. That's very important as well.
It's held in the Uniting Church on the eve of Anzac Day, and it's ecumenical not only in the different religious groups who attend. We have Christians and Muslims and Jews and Buddhists and Hindus. I was surprised that Lismore had so many people from other countries who've come to live here. So it's ecumenical from the point of view of nationality and also from the point of view of the religious groups and some who don't have any religion at all.
What they do is they have one, the one at night is on the eve of Anzac Day, and then they have one after the march, which is the one out in Peace Park. Yes.
So the night ceremony is focuses on having this opportunity of bringing a multicultural group together of people who believe in peace and believe that it's possible, if we become more conscious of what peace is, that we can actually make a difference.
They returned, Australian returned flag to Japanese, and following year, which is 2010, they returned sword to Japanese.
And they're singing during the ceremony, lots of beautiful singing. Jenny Dowell, our mayor in Lismore, is speaking, and lots of other people are speaking about their, either about their personal experience, having been in war, having been part of the war, or having been a victim in the war.
Has a lovely ritual in it where people go up and light a candle and I guess offer their thoughts for peace, and it's a very reverent and peaceful feeling, and then we have beautiful choirs, just set a lovely tone to it, and then we have had speakers as well who remind us about, well, this year it was about trauma and what people returning from war come back with. And so the reason for reflecting on that was so that we could know that war doesn't go away just when you come back. It goes on for the rest of your life. And not only that, your children also have the consequences of your experience, and it goes from one generation to the next. So it doesn't end just returning from the war. It just is a very big thing, and traumatizes people.
And it's hard because it's a generational thing, you know, like it's generational trauma passed down, and everyone's just doing the best they can.
From the beginning, there was an involvement by the Japanese Buddhist priest from Sydney who would come up, and he would receive from various people things that had been taken during the Second World War by Australian soldiers, and they wanted to return those, things like swords and flags and things like that, so that they could be returned to the people from whom they'd been taken.
It was very important to be there when they returned flag and sword to Japanese. Especially sword, I felt a very strong urge to touch the sword, and I asked permission and hold it, And it was amazing feeling. I felt about the person who owned the sword, and to me the spirit of the person was very glad because sword going back to Japan.
I dream of a world of peace, where people can live a life of ease, world where there is no difference between rich or poor, life being pleasant for living evermore. I dream of happiness, where there is no sight of selfishness, where each and everyone can get their deeds and have relief in their needs.
It brings a whole lot of people together who believe in unity, who believe in peace, and have a positive picture for the future, and they want to work towards that.
Healing with feeling similar, maybe wound with people who have a similar history.
It's not just different nationalities, there are representations for different religions as well. There's the Jewish religion, the Muslim religion, the Buddhist, the Christian, the Protestant, the Catholic, the atheists and the agnostics.
They'll have people from different faiths doing prayers. They've had a fella from the Buddhist religion, and he came and did a few prayers, and okay, I didn't understand the language, but you can feel the solemnity and the just the beauty of that. And they also have some people read from the Quran also as well.
Then in the daytime when we have it, that's a very special time because it's out in the open air, it's in the Peace Park, and that involves a lot of children too. And in both cases it's incredibly multicultural, multi-faith activity. So it's really something very inspiring to be part of.
The community is donating tea and coffee and sushi and little cakes or big cakes, and we communicate and drink and eat together.
And one of the things I've been asked to reflect on is what values do this group have or bring. And I think they're values that people can relate to. And I'd say the first one is compassion for those who are suffering as a result of war. The word compassion comes from the Latin compatio, meaning to suffer with. And I think by sharing in other people's suffering, you are making the world a better place. The other value I see is honesty, that we have to admit the mistakes, and admit the fact that people are still suffering, especially families and of returned servicemen and servicemen too. Another aspect of the group that they try to inculcate into their members and work towards is forgiveness, and then there's hope for the future, that people can make a difference, and it's motivated by love of others. So I think they're worthwhile qualities that people can share in and develop by being in a group like this.
Makes it possible for people to realize the possibilities of bringing such a diverse group together. Just creating that space where so many different people can come together. It's just a little microcosm of what's amazingly possible in this world. Yeah, it's very exciting.